Life has a funny way of testing us. It throws challenges, heartbreaks, failures, and moments where you feel like the entire world is against you. And in those moments, it's tempting, almost natural, to feel like a victim, to believe that life is unfair, that luck isn't on your side, that the universe is conspiring against you while helping everyone else succeed. But let me tell you a simple truth. No one in the history of mankind has ever won anything by feeling sorry for themselves. The ones who make it, the ones who shine, the ones who create history, they all have one thing in common. They refuse to play the victim. They choose to be the hero of their story. You see, heroes are not born. They are made. They are shaped by struggles, built by failures, and defined by their choices. I know this because I have lived it. When I first came to Mumbai, I was a nobody. A young man from Delhi with nothing but dreams in his eyes and an unshakable belief that I could make something of myself. I had no godfather in the industry, no big surname backing me, no safety net to fall back on. My parents had passed away before they could see me achieve anything, and I was left alone, with no guarantees, no plan B, just me and my dreams. There were days when rejection knocked on my door more than opportunities. There were nights when self-doubt crept in, whispering, maybe this is not meant for you. It would have been easy to give up, to complain, to blame the world. I could have sat in a corner and said, why me? But I knew one thing. Nobody was coming to save me. Nobody was going to hand me my dreams on a silver platter. If I wanted something, I had to fight for it. And so I did. The problem is, most of us have been conditioned to believe that life is supposed to be fair, that if we work hard, things will magically fall into place. But life doesn't work like that. Life will push you, break you, test you in ways you never imagined. And when that happens, you have two choices. Either you let it define you as a victim, or you rise above it and become the hero of your story. The victim mindset is seductive. It allows you to escape responsibility. It lets you justify inaction. It makes it easier to sit back and say, I could have been great, but life didn't give me a chance. But the truth is, everyone gets a chance. Some people take it, while others waste time complaining. The world does not owe you anything. It is not responsible for your success or your happiness. Only you are. Think about any great story, any legendary film. What makes the hero stand out? It's not that they never suffer. It's not that they don't fall. It's that they never stay down. They don't spend time crying about what went wrong. They focus on what they can do next. If you truly want to change your life, you have to stop narrating the sad version of your story and start writing a powerful one. Your struggles are not a sign that you are unlucky. They are a sign that you are in the process of transformation. Every setback, every rejection, every failure is just another scene in your movie, one that will make the climax even more beautiful. But you have to be willing to push through. You have to be willing to take ownership of your life, no matter how difficult things seem. I've seen people with every advantage, money, connections, privilege, waste their potential because they remained stuck in a victim mentality. And I have also seen people with nothing, people who started from zero, rise to greatness because they refuse to accept defeat. The only difference between them is mindset. If you want to be the hero of your story, start by changing the way you see yourself. Stop saying, why is this happening to me? And start saying, what can I do about it? Stop looking for sympathy and start looking for solutions. Stop focusing on the obstacles and start focusing on your power. You are not weak. You are not helpless. You are not meant to live a life of excuses. You are meant to fight, to rise, to conquer. I know it's not easy. I know that life can be tough. But I also know that every hero has a moment when they have to make a choice to give up or to keep going. And trust me, when you keep going, when you fight through the pain, when you refuse to let circumstances break you, one day you will look back and realize you were never a victim. You were always a hero in the making. So today, make a decision. Decide that you will no longer let excuses hold you back. Decide that you will no longer waste time complaining. Decide that you will take control of your life and write the greatest story ever told. Because the world doesn't need another victim. The world needs a hero. And that hero is you. Motivation is a beautiful thing. It's like that first sip of coffee in the morning. Strong, energizing, making you feel like you can conquer the world. You hear an inspiring speech, watch a film where the hero overcomes all odds, read a success story, and suddenly you're fired up. You feel unstoppable, like nothing can hold you back. But then reality sets in. The excitement fades, the energy disappears, and you're back to square one, wondering why you can't seem to stay consistent. That's because motivation is temporary. It's like a guest at a party. It comes in, makes some noise, dances a little, and then leaves. You can't rely on it to be there every day. You can't wait for motivation to strike like lightning before you take action. If you do, you will spend your whole life starting and stopping, never really making progress. The real secret to success is not motivation, it is discipline. Discipline is the quiet, unglamorous force that keeps you going when motivation is nowhere to be found. It's waking up at 5 a.m. to work on your dreams, even when your bed is whispering sweet nothings in your ear. It's going to the gym when your muscles are sore and your mind is screaming, take a break. It's putting in the work every single day, whether you feel like it or not. Let me tell you something about my own journey. When I started in the film industry, there were no guarantees. I had no background, no safety net, nothing to fall back on. The only thing I had was my hunger to succeed. And trust me, there were days when I was tired, days when I wanted to rest, days when self-doubt crept in, but I didn't wait for motivation to come and save me. I showed up, I worked, I gave my 100%, not because I felt like it, but because I had made a commitment to myself. The difference between people who succeed and people who don't is not talent, not luck, not even hard work. It's discipline. Talent can give you a head start, but without discipline means nothing. Luck can open doors, but without discipline, you won't be ready to walk through them. So hard work is essential, but without discipline, hard work is inconsistent. And inconsistency is the enemy of progress. You see, motivation is emotional. It's based on feelings, and feelings are unpredictable. Some days you wake up feeling inspired, ready to take on the world. Other days you just want to stay in bed, binge watch movies and eat junk food. If you rely on feelings to determine your actions, you will never achieve anything significant because feelings change. But discipline remains. Discipline is a habit. It's a system. It's a promise you make to yourself and keep, no matter what. It's deciding, I will do this every day, whether I feel like it or not. And the beauty of discipline is that once you master it, it takes away the struggle. You don't have to think, should I do this today? You just do it. It becomes who you are. Think about it. Do you brush your teeth every morning because you're motivated to do it? No. You do it because it's a habit, because it's necessary. That's the mindset you need for success. You don't work hard only when you feel inspired. You work hard because it's non-negotiable. Because your dreams deserve consistency. I know what you're thinking, but Shah Rukh, what if I fail? What if I put in all this effort and nothing happens? And to that I say, so what? Failure is part of the process. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who never failed. They are the ones who never quit. They are the ones who showed up day after day, even when they saw no results, even when no one was watching, even when they doubted themselves. Discipline is what keeps you moving when success feels far away. Discipline is what separates the dreamers from the doers. The weaker version of you loves motivation because it's easy. It's exciting, it feels good, but the stronger version of you knows that discipline is the real key. The stronger version of you doesn't wait for the perfect moment, doesn't need inspiration, doesn't make excuses. The stronger version of you gets up and does the work every day, no matter what. So kill that weaker version of yourself. Stop looking for motivation like it's a magical ingredient that will change your life. It won't. What will change your life is discipline. Because discipline is power. Discipline is freedom. Discipline is success. And if you master discipline, my friend, there is nothing in this world that you cannot achieve. Fear is the greatest storyteller of all time. It is a master of illusion, a director of nightmares, and the most dramatic script writer you'll ever come across. It whispers in your ear, creating scenes in your head that don't even exist. It convinces you that failure is the end, that people are laughing at you, that you are not good enough. And the worst part, you believe it. You listen to fear like it's a wise old friend giving you advice, when in reality, it's just an insecure voice inside you trying to hold you back. It tells you to stay in your comfort zone because the world outside is too risky. It tells you not to try because failing would be too embarrassing. It tells you to wait, to hesitate, to overthink. But here's the truth. Fear is a liar. It has always been a liar, and it will always be a liar. The sooner you stop listening to it, the sooner you will start living the life you are meant to live. When I was starting out in the film industry, fear was my constant companion. What if I fail? What if no one accepts me? What if I embarrass myself in front of the entire country? These thoughts were there, playing on a loop in my head. But then I realized something. If I let fear control me, I would never do anything. I would never take a step forward. I would never grow. And that was far scarier than failure itself. So I decided to stop listening. I told myself, if I fail, but I will not let fear stop me from trying. And that's when my life changed. Not because fear disappeared, it never really does, but because I learned to move forward despite it. Most people spend their entire lives trapped in fear. They're afraid of what people will say, afraid of taking risks, afraid of rejection, and so they live small, safe, comfortable lives, never realizing that in trying to avoid failure, they have also avoided success. Think about it. What's the worst that can happen? You try and you fail. So what? At least you tried. At least you gave yourself a chance. But if you let fear stop you, you will never know what could have been. And that regret, my friend, is far worse than failure. Do you know what fear actually is? It's just a story in your head. It's not real. It's your imagination running wild, creating a disaster movie where you are the helpless victim. But you are not helpless. You are not weak. You are not meant to live in fear. You are meant to fight, to take chances, to rise. The biggest moments of your life will always come with fear. Every time you do something new, something bold, something out of your comfort zone, fear will be there. It will try to convince you to back down. It will tell you, you are not ready, this is not the right time, maybe later, but later never comes. If you listen to fear today, you will listen to it tomorrow. And before you know it, your whole life will have passed and fear will have won. I've faced fear at every stage of my life. When I took on roles that people said wouldn't suit me, when I started a business knowing nothing about entrepreneurship, when I performed in front of crowds who expected me to fail. But every single time, I chose to move forward despite fear, and every single time I proved fear wrong. Fear has no real power. It only has the power you give it. The moment you stop feeding it, the moment you stop believing its lies, it begins to lose control over you. So today, I want you to make a decision. The next time fear whispers in your ear, don't listen. The next time it tries to stop you, move forward anyway. The next time it tells you that you can't, prove it wrong. Because fear is not your friend. Fear is not your guide. Fear is not your truth. Fear is a liar. And you are stronger than fear. You are bigger than doubt. You are capable of more than you can even imagine. So stop listening to fear. Start listening to your dreams. Start listening to your potential. Start listening to the voice inside you that says, yes, I can. Because that voice is the truth, and it's time to start believing it. Life is not a one-time performance. It is not a single role you play from beginning to end. It is a constant evolution, never-ending process of transformation. You're not meant to be the same person you were 5 years ago, 5 months ago, or even 5 days ago. You are meant to grow, to change, to reinvent yourself again and again and again. The biggest mistake people make is believing that they have to stay the same. They say, this is who I am, this is how things have always been. And in saying that, they trap themselves. They build walls around their potential, locking themselves in a version of life that no longer serves them. But the truth is, nothing in life is permanent. Not success, not failure, not pain, not joy. Everything changes, and so must you. I have lived many lives in one lifetime. I was once a boy who ran through the streets of Delhi, dreaming of a world beyond what I knew. Then I became a young man, lost in the chaos of Mumbai, trying to find my place in an industry that had no space for me. Then I became an actor, then a star, then a businessman, then a father. And at every stage I had to let go of the old version of me to step into the new one. If I had refused to change, if I had clung to my past, I would have never moved forward. The world belongs to those who reinvent themselves. Think about the greatest minds, the biggest successes, the people who leave a mark. None of them stayed the same. They adapted, they evolved, they became something new every time life demanded it. That is the key to survival, to success, to greatness. But reinvention is not easy. It requires courage. It requires you to break out of your comfort zone, to challenge your own beliefs, to admit that who you were yesterday is not enough for who you want to become tomorrow. Most people fear reinvention because it means stepping into the unknown. It means letting go of what is familiar and embracing what is uncertain. But that is where growth happens. That is where real transformation begins. Look at nature. Everything in it is constantly changing. The caterpillar does not stay a caterpillar. It becomes a butterfly. The tree sheds its leaves only to grow new ones. The river never remains still. It keeps flowing, carving new paths, finding new ways to move forward. Why should you be any different? Yet, so many people resist change. They say, I am too old to start over. It's too late for me to try something new. What if I fail? But here's the truth. It is never too late. The only thing